What's up, guys? Welcome back to Track the Harmonic, where we dive deep into the world of harmonic technical analysis. If you're new here, my name is Lord MC, and I've started this channel to share my knowledge and insights with fellow traders who are looking to take their skills to the next level, harmonically speaking. So if you like this type of content, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. I'm also super excited to announce that I've started my own Discord channel where we focus on providing top-notch educational resources and support to traders who are serious about mastering harmonic technical analysis. The community is filled with like-minded traders who are passionate about improving their skills and being able to make their own informed decisions here in the financial markets. We cover everything from beginner level concepts all the way up to advanced trading techniques, all with the goal of helping our members become more profitable traders. So the Discord has been up for just a little over a week now, and we have members already making a year subscription in just one single trade, which is insane. So if you're serious about taking your trading game to the next level, join us on Discord and let's start making some serious gains together. Link to the Discord will be in the description box below. So having said that, let's get right into why you're here. This video will be about what we can expect coming into a very volatile, which I think very volatile week, with earnings that are coming up. We got companies like Coke, Verizon, UPS, Microsoft, Alphabet, Visa, GM, General Electric, McDonald's, 3M, Boeing, Meta, Caterpillar, Amazon, Intel, American Airlines, Exxon, Chevron. Got a bunch of companies reporting earnings this week, so it's going to be very volatile. We also have GDP as well as PCE coming into this week, so it's going to be a very, very, very volatile week in my opinion. We have been consolidating for a little bit, part of I guess 2 weeks now, and that's evident in the NASDAQ, and I will be sharing why I think we've been consolidating, and I do think that breakout is going to happen this week potentially, whether it be to the upside or to the downside. We're going to have to wait and find out which direction it's going to choose. So I will be giving harmonic levels here in both the bullish case and the bearish case scenario, and whether that breakout happens this week or not, at least you have your levels. So let's get right into the SPY here. So SPY here has a bearish harmonic bat pattern, right? You are below XA at 414.02. You have been close below that for 3 days now, and you are holding on to the 13 EMA here. Should the SPY here continue to lose the 13 EMA, you can come back down to test support here at 407. I'm going to bring out my drawings here. Bear with me, I know it's a lot, but this 411 range for the SPY here has been a critical level of support where it has held pretty strongly there. It has come down a little bit to that 410 and change range, but so far it has at least supported around that range, that 411 range. Should you continue breaking down below this, you can come back to that target one here of this bearish bat pattern at 401.93, where maybe you have a potential reversal back up to hop at 423 should there be bad data coming out and as well as bad earnings. So if my opinion for the SPY, you need to hold support 411 to continue pushing up forward, finding support, coming back and close above XA at 414, which has also been a level here between 414 and 415. Has been a level for the SPY also where it can't break above just yet. So if it does manage to hold above XA at 414.02, we can expect maybe it comes to test and fill that gap here between 417 and 421 and potentially see hop at 423.32. Off of Friday's close, you do have an increase in volume the past couple of days, right? You have the HSI signaling that it coming down for touching that, crossing that midline to the downside. So if it does continue pushing down here to these oversold zones, you could potentially maybe test 408 here. But like I said, 411 is going to be a strong critical level of support. If we go back and look at the weekly here and see how we ended in the week. We ended up in a doji candle, so it's indecision right now. We don't know what direction the market wants to go to. In the weekly here, you do have a deep crab, a bullish deep crab at that, where you did close above 404 for what is now 4 weeks now. So in this weekly sense, it's kind of bullish. You also have a 2050 crossover about to happen. Maybe it happens this next coming up week, maybe it doesn't. But if it continues to push on forward, you can expect 433 being target 2 here of this bullish deep crab. And if you don't continue, if you lose a 404 here, you have ranges here. Obviously, this is going to be on the weekly chart. It's going to take some time, but you have here XA at 357 and hop at 324. Still too early to find out if we're going to go there yet, but I do think this week is going to be very crucial for the market here. Volume wise on the weekly did decrease to the sell side, so the volume has been decreasing, but I do think the volume is going to pick up this week. So going back to the daily here, harmonically speaking, again, you are looking to set like a potential maybe consolidation here, where I do believe this week we will break out to the upside or to the downside. Too early to tell. I'm not sure yet. We're gonna have to analyze the earnings, which have been so far from Tesla earnings, Netflix, and United Airlines have been a mixed bag here. Earnings reported by Tesla were a bit bearish, so we will definitely have to keep an eye on that, because this earnings has been a little bit of a difficult thing to gauge. So a lot of people have been expecting that its quarter earnings was going to be bearish, but maybe we get some surprises this week to see if any of the other blue chips actually beat on earnings. So those are the levels I have for you on the SPY. Jumping over to the triple Qs here. So the triple Qs here has an increase in volume in the past couple of days, and this is what I was talking about earlier, why I think we are consolidating here. You have this, what looks like to me a bull flag, right? You have consolidation in this period, right? Whether it's going to go up or it's going to go down, we're going to find out this week. So if I take this tool here, the ruler, if we count from March 30th up to this point here, up to Friday, that's 15 bars, that's 15 days. So we have been consolidating in between the 320s and 313 range here for the NASDAQ. In my opinion, the NASDAQ has been a leading indicator of where the market might potentially go. So if we are looking from a technical analysis standpoint here, this bull flags tend to break to the upside. Should we break to the upside, we definitely have to clear this key critical level here at 318.72, which has been a pain in the ass for the NASDAQ to get above. If you can just go back to the whole past week, this whole trading range at 318, it has, the only time it came actually and went above it was here on Thursday, where it did go to that 321 range, and you just kept testing and testing and testing. I think there was one day where we just trading in that range, in that 318 and 72, we couldn't break above. So as far as support here, you are finding support here off the 21 EMA. Harmonically speaking, we do have a bearish bat pattern here, where we are holding above, strongly above XA at 313.84. So you did bounce off on Friday off the 21. Should you continue holding support above here, if you break this 318 level with volume here, you could potentially see a hop at 330.99. Should you lose a 21 EMA on the bearish case scenario, you can come back down with 305.69 off BC of this bearish harmonic pattern. If you're not able to hold this 305.69, you could test here the 300 level at the 200 EMA, and then finally coming down to complete that type 1 reaction to target 1 at 291.95, and then maybe 277.56 at target 2. So how did we finish the week on the NASDAQ? So the NASDAQ here also has an HSI dot generated. It looks like a doji candle as well. Indecision in the markets right now, so we will see the volume, kind of average volume of previous close. So indecision right now. You do have that HSI dot triggered here, so it's going to be very interesting to see if that's going to be the leading indicator saying, hey, the market's going to come down finally, but too early to tell. So definitely keep an eye out on the NASDAQ. Jumping over to the Dow Jones. So the Dow Jones has this bearish bat pattern, so almost very similar setup to the SPY here. For the Dow Jones, you did close below XA here at 340.27. So it is also finding support just like the SPY here off the 13 EMA. So if this continues to hold here and you can get above 340.27, you have some harmonic levels from previous harmonic patterns here at 343 and 345. So if you break these two with volume, you can potentially see hop at 347. If you lose the 13 EMA, you have support here at 335, and then maybe down here to target 1 at 330.96. So volume did come in on Friday, increase in volume to the sell side, but you did close, I guess you could say this is a hammer candle, but on a downtrend. So I'm not really too sure if this is of significant importance just yet. We definitely have to see if this is maybe reversing here. So in this, my opinion here, off of this daily candle, the bears brought it all the way to the 13 EMA, but bulls stepped up to close just above 9 EMA. So it's a little bit of a, in my opinion, bullish candle close here for the bulls, because the bears were not able to close down below here with strength. So if we can go over to the weekly and see, give us a better indication here. again, same thing with the NASDAQ and SPY. You are closing here with a weekly doji candle with indecision in the market. So again, we're going to find out on this week that's coming up with earnings, GDP, and PCE. So I want to come over to Apple now. Let's go to the daily. Let me clear out my drawings here, and where we are here harmonically on Apple. So Apple has a bullish bat pattern where we clearly already passed target 2 at 158.48. We're above target 2, which is this. This is the 618 of the harmonic pattern, and you are signaling strength here. Yes, it was a bearish close at the end with volume stepping up, but so far Apple has been respecting the 21 EMA as a strong level of support, and during this time here, this whole week, it stayed above the 9 EMA, and unfortunately on Friday you did close below that at between just slightly below the 9 EMA. So what can we expect here for Apple? The next level, if we jump over here, I do believe there's a harmonic here at the 2-day or 3-day. Actually the weekly. So the weekly, like I said, also weekly's over the target 2 here of the bullish bat pattern, and it is closing above now 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks now above target 2. So harmonically speaking, closing above the 618 for 4 weeks shows strength in my opinion. So we do have an HSI generated, an HSI arrow generated to the downside here, so that could potentially be signaling a reversal here, right? It's still too early to tell. This candle close here, this could be a potential inverted cross doji, right? So that ultimately maybe signs of bearishness here. Still not can't really say that it's bearish just yet. You're still holding above, harmonically speaking, above target 2 here, so definitely same volume as the previous weekly close. So in my opinion, this is considered more of a maybe it starts to consolidate right now. The HSI here has been signaling right now potentially on the daily that you're coming down to the midline here. So if you do cross that midline and you come down to that oversold region, maybe you test 162, losing that you go to 158, target 2 for a bounce. But as far as support here, where Apple has found support is on the 21 EMA. So what can we expect moving forward here, harmonically speaking? I bring out my drawings. You can tell that this level at 166.25 for Apple has been a strong level of resistance. You did close above a couple times here, but you came back down. So you got rejected here. It was a false breakout because you got rejected. You came down. And if we go back here, this is the last time we broke out of this level here. We went all the way to 176. And when we broke out of here, we went all the way to 180 almost. And obviously during this time is when Apple went to all-time highs. So this is a definite important level to break out of. And harmonically speaking, what can we expect here for the next level of this pattern here? So the next level would be if I take this retracement tool, we could draw this pattern out. So the next level would be that 166.25, like I said, at the 786 of the harmonic pattern, and then the 886 at the of this bullish bat pattern at 170, and then the 100% retracement of point A here of this pattern at 176.15. So if it doesn't find support here off of this 166.25, you can come back down to test 158.48. You are still consolidating in an uptrend and creating higher highs and higher lows. So Apple still, even though the RSI did get rejected here, almost oversold here, or excuse me, overbought, it's still signaling strength. Again, a bunch of these tickers that I've been tracking have been respecting the 21 EMA on the daily, NVDA included, and I will come over to NVDA shortly. But in my opinion, right now, harmonically speaking on daily, you don't have anything that's signaling a potential top yet. Who knows, this earnings week, GDP and PCE might give us a better indication if Apple is going to get finally rejected here. So I know we could draw a trend line from the highs up to here at this point. If we do that, you can see that it's getting topped off here. So this could be a rejection. If I draw this actually a little bit better here, you can see that each touch point here, I know I've seen this chart before, but people are saying that this is the top for Apple because it's been rejected at this trend line here. But we're gonna have to find out if that is going to be the case. If it is the case, you can come down pretty fast here to that target 158, and then losing a bunch of levels here. Obviously there's key levels here, but one of the big ones I'd be looking at is 153 to the bearish side, and then losing the 148, you can come back down to XA at 134 and then hop at 122. Or too early to tell, but we will have to see. Jumping to Tesla here, let me bring out this new harmonic pattern that just formed at the close on Thursday here. We have a bullish shark pattern for Tesla. It is closing below here OB at 169, below 169 of 168. What is that? 12? I believe that's 12. 168.44. So what can we expect here for Tesla? Tesla obviously came down here on bad earnings. So we do have the HSI potentially signal a double bottom here. AMP RSI is signaling over the oversold zone here. So if we can bounce back up to OB here at 160, let me see this 169.04, we could potentially start filling this gap here at 177.21 for a potential type 1 reaction back up to 189 and then 211. There are some harmonic levels to note. This level here at 164.67 is very important for Tesla. If Tesla does not hold above this level, it's going to potentially come back down to hop and then maybe fill that gap at 140. What is this, 146 and change? The reason why I say that, because the last time we broke down from this range here at this 164, we came all the way down to a little bit below 101, right? So 100, it was a 101.81, and then you broke back up out of this. So as you could tell here, this level of support here, you did lose that support here on Thursday, but right now you are barely hovering just above. So if this is gonna continue holding on, you definitely wanted to continue to hold on if you're going long on Tesla. Otherwise you come back down. So if you can break up above 164.67, reclaim 167.98, fill this gap and get above 177.12. In my opinion, you need to hold above 177.12 for you to continue pushing up forward to that 189. Test the 200 EMA at 205, which is a key target. As you could tell, the past couple times the 200 EMA has been tested, we had rejection. So here, and we'll see if everything's good during this week. Maybe it comes back up. It's not crazy to think that Tesla does not recover fast. As you know, Tesla is very volatile, so we will have to wait and see for that. Jumping over to Microsoft here. So Microsoft generated a bearish Gartley pattern here, and it looks kind of similar to Apple, looks kind of similar to the NASDAQ actually, where it's also consolidating to see if either it's going to break up to that 297 or that 276.90 range here below that 21 EMA. Volumes did start pick up here, same volume as Thursday on Friday. So in this sense, it's looking like potential bull flag here. And on the weekly here, we did close on a bearish week with decreasing volume. So still looks the same, similar to the 1 day here, where it's either gonna, that breakout is could potentially happen to the upside or to the downside at 297.89 and 276.90. So same targets as the 1 day harmonic Gartley. So this, in the sense here, this is kind of looks bull flaggy in my opinion. So it is consolidating here, in that consolidation, obviously we know when you're in a consolidation period, you're going to make a very big move in either direction. So harmonically speaking, I do see that the HSI is coming back down here. In any case, if it doesn't hold the 21 EMA support, maybe you bounce off to 276 and it starts trading in that range until we have that data and earnings come out. So Microsoft does report earnings on Tuesday. So this one's going to be a very important one to look at, because it could give us an indication of where Apple and maybe other the blue chips could be headed. So definitely keep an eye out on that. So again, if you do have report bad earnings, bad GDP, bad PCE, and everything's kind of bad, if you don't hold those 276, you can come back for a test of 256 at target 1, and at worst at 240 target 2 here for Microsoft, because you have yet to do that type 1 reaction. So we're going to find out soon, see what Microsoft has for us this week. Jumping over to Google here. So Google did form a bearish alt bat pattern here, so where it's also consolidating in this range, indecision on the daily close. So in my opinion, Google, you're about to have also a golden cross here on the EMAs here. If you can potentially get back up here and test 105, excuse me, 108, you can get back up at 110 and 113.47. Should you not hold this range here, the 21 EMA, like I've said, 21 EMA has kind of have been supports for a lot of these blue chips. You lose that, you can come back to 102, target 1 at 101 to complete that type 1 reaction. And if it continues to drop below that, you got target 2 at 96.44. The HSI is kind of curling up here. See maybe if you can get above that 106 range here. Definitely look out for Google here. It's been on an uptrend here lately, so I do think Google, it could be a good play here into this week, but obviously they also report earnings on Tuesday as well, just after the bell with Microsoft. On the weekly close, you closed green on increase in volume. The volume is starting to pick up here, and on the weekly harmonic pattern, you do have a bullish grab pattern where you just closed above the 50 EMA. So the next target that you have on the weekly is that 109.39, and then at best target 2 at 125.49. To the downside, you do have this gap fill here at 83.81 where XA is at, and then you have HOP at 65.72. So keep an eye out on Google. Now I'm going to jump over to NVDA, which is everybody's favorite right now. That a lot of people have been trying to short this because it's been on a crazy run for the better part of it since December. January is just going absolutely insane here. We do have a new harmonic bat pattern that's formed. It seems like every day it's the hop has been increasing here. So you did close here on Friday just below the, if I could zoom in a little bit better, I think it's below the 9 EMA. Did you close above the 13? You barely closed just above the 13 EMA. So you did close above XA here at 267.79. One of the things I'd watch out for if you're playing this to the downside is that 21 EMA. As far as December here, we've been riding up the 9, came down to the 13 EMA. At worst, we came down over here in February, the 21 EMA, and then held on and gapped up. And from ever since then, the lowest you've came to losing the critical levels was at 21 EMA. So after this day here in March, you also came down to test it and you found support. So after that moment, you've been just trading above the 9. You did come to the 13. The last time we touched the 21 EMA was April 14th on Friday, and we bounced. So again, on Friday, this last Friday, we did touch the 21 EMA, and we actually found support here. So every time this level has reached the 21 EMA, the price has reached the 21 EMA, we have bounced here for NVIDIA. So I would keep an eye out on NVIDIA here. If it finally loses with volume, the 21 EMA, you can come back down to 259.91, then test ABCD here at 250 where the 50 EMA is. Losing this 50 EMAs will be very critical for NVIDIA because you can come flushing down all the way to gap fill here at 210-ish, 211, where target 1 is here at 215, and then losing that area, you can come back down to finish that type 1 reaction, potentially, to target 2 at 174.20. So if it doesn't, and if it holds on to this XA here at 268.79, the HSI midline is did approach here. You did kind of cross below it, but you maybe can come back and just bounce off of it and continue pushing forward. So if it does, the next levels you have here for NVIDIA is at hop level at 315.03. So if we jump over just really quick to the weekly chart, here you did generate an HSI dot, potentially signaling that it wants to come back down, but on the HSI dot where it was generated, it was off of increase in volume to the previous weekly close, but this close on this week, this current week, you did close above the previous close with more volume. So it did close bullish here off of this XA harmonic bearish bat pattern above XA at 268.79. So this range is important here for especially to see if you can break up above NVIDIA at 280. If you can break above 280 on NVIDIA, then yeah, I do think you could see 315, which is insane, right? So 315 would definitely test here this level. All-time highs is at 346.47. So you can still come back up and test hop here and then continue for that type 1 reaction. Too early to tell. We'll find out for sure this week. Harmonically that you have here for Meta is that target one at 251.26. So something bullish about Meta here is if you follow any of the crossover strategies with the EMAs, you do have a 2050 crossover that just happened. So this could potentially, if it's bullish and data is bullish, earnings is bullish, maybe you see that 251 and at best 302. Otherwise, you can come back down to the weekly after 172 and then hop at 116. Obviously, this is on the weekly chart, so this may take some time for that to develop. So last thing I want to cover here is Amazon. So Amazon on Friday had a very bullish close. You went as high as 108.15, the low being 105.08 before closing the day, just slightly under 107. So you did find some resistance here at the 200 EMA, just like you found resistance here back in Feb. So if you can break up above that in the next level, I would look at for Amazon. It's this little tiny gap, but there is a gap. There's a 10-cent gap here where maybe you can find support off XA here at 107.54, and then fill that gap. Continue on pushing forward back up to fill the second gap here at around 114 and change, and then maybe test target one again at 121.09. So volume did pick up for Amazon, so there is volume definitely coming in right now. HSI looks strong to the upside to potentially come up to those overbought zones, so that could potentially send it up to that gap fill, maybe these two gap fills. If we jump over to the weekly, maybe it gives us a better indication here. So on the weekly, you did close on higher volume than the previous close. You had some resistance here off the 50 SMA, but if you continue pushing on forward off of this bullish bat pattern, you have target one for a type 1 reaction at 122.39 for the most bullish case scenario, where the 200 EMA is roughly around. Should you get rejected here off the 50 SMA and you're not able to hold here this $100 range where the 9, the 13, and 21 kind of meet, you could potentially come back down to XA at 93.54. And then all these levels here, I have a capitulation level here for Amazon again. If you lose point D of this this pattern here, this bad pattern at 81.30, where you could potentially come down to hop. But right now, in my opinion, I think Amazon is a bit bullish, very strong here to potentially test and go above that 107 range and then that 121. So we will definitely have to keep an eye out on Amazon. So having said that, that's all I have for you guys. I will be streaming tomorrow, 15 minutes before the bell over on Twitch. So if you want to join us for that, the link to my Twitch is in the description box below. But other than that, that's all I have for you guys. I hope you guys have the rest of your Sunday you spend time with family and friends, and I will see you guys bright and early tomorrow. Take care, everybody, and peace.